Jolene Cujo is one of the most badass MCs I have come across. Her motivation is simple and effective to make us feel compelled to her cause, and that is one of the central reasons why I have enjoyed the first 12 episodes of Part 6 so much. I have a very hit-and-miss relationship with JoJo's. It took me months to get through Part 1's first 9 episodes, and I had similar struggles throughout the remaining parts. Some aspects of the series I loved, like the interesting powers and creative ways they are applied throughout the series, but I also failed to connect to many of the characters in earlier parts. However, as I continued through the series, my understanding of Araki's brilliance grew. A large reason why I finished those early parts were due to the hype I heard around Steel Ball Run and the promise that if you stayed with the series, things get really good. And things get good well before Part 7, and Stone Ocean has the making of a truly fantastic story on its own, and Jolene may be my favorite JoJo. Jolene's introduction to the series with her bitching about how a guard caught her masturbating perfectly captures her immense confidence but also her extremely bad luck. It takes some kind of person to masturbate on their first night in jail, let alone risk getting caught by a guard, but also the fact that a guard happens to walk by shows just how unlucky she has been, and oh boy, she is unlucky. Her entire circumstances start because of things entirely out of her control because of her lineage, and then she gets thrown into the aquarium because of that. I love the small scale of these first 12 episodes. The world is not on the line, only the Joestar family. If Jolene fails, the only consequences are her life and her father's. And I love that about the series. It's so easy to feel emotionally attached to the conflict, and I think a large part of that is due to the scale. Because the series isn't focused on an epic plot, Araki has the time to make some of the wildest situations in the series. JoJo's is defined by those weird circumstances. Something crazy happens, and then a character takes a logical approach to maneuver their way out of it. One of my favorite situations in this part comes in the second episode. Jolene is dealing with her new batshit insane prison mate and gets turned to the size of a mouse. Here she is forced to talk to her cellmate in a cute voice and do tasks for her. Jolene goes to spy on a group of the guards when suddenly she finds herself growing larger because her cellmate is too far away. This circumstance visually shows the struggle Jolene goes through in the series. With all of the things out of her control, she is shrunk down in size and still has to find a way out, mimicking how she is a small piece of this larger prison and plot to get to Jyotaro. Jolene, using some clever application of her stand, Stone Ocean, is able to gain the upper hand until she is stuck in the structure of the building as she grows. This again mimics how the prison itself is almost a character, being a huge part of how she is unable to escape. The action sequences are not the only thing that lives up to the hype, but the characters are fantastic as well. The supporting cast meets the bizarreness of previous casts in the other parts, all having their own unique ability and insane personality. I love the extra flair of a character like Weather Report. Weather Report isn't in the first chunk of episodes, but boy does he make a good impression. He only talks to people close up and has many particular interests, all of which make him more defined than your average side character. And yet that is all around the fact that Poochie stole his memories, giving this great sense of mystery to his character. Who was Weather Report in the past? And why does he do so many hyper-specific things? All of which I can't wait to get answered when the rest of the episodes come out. The thing that makes Part 6 really tick is Jolene's relationship with her father, Jyotaro. I love how the show almost views Jyotaro as an icon in the same way the viewer does. When I see Jyotaro on screen, a wave of nostalgia hits me, and this is also one of the reasons so many fans get upset when people discuss skipping parts. The feeling you get when you see Jyotaro on screen is what fans think newcomers to the series will miss out on if they haven't watched it yet. And this connectivity has been a huge benefit to Part 6, And Araki knows this. He knows how much everyone loves Jyotaro and uses that to take his character in surprising ways and even help characterize Jolene even more. There are so many shots where Jolene resembles Jyotaro. Even without his massive body, she poses like she is the strongest person in the room, and in most cases, she is. But she may very well be my favorite JoJo so far. The main criticism that I throw at Jyotaro is how overpowered he is, especially in part 3. Many of the battles in that part are won by him just being stronger than the opponent, and I think it betrays a little bit of what is so enjoyable about all of the other fights throughout the series. How characters come up with creative ways to defeat their opponents. And Jolene does this constantly throughout the series. The best example of this being when Jotaro's discs are taken. Jolene is not fond of Jyotaro for abandoning her for most of her childhood, but even so, they are forced to work together to get out of a difficult situation. All until Jotaro's stand and memories are taken. This moment is one that I will remember for a long time to come. I have always viewed Jyotaro as a deeply flawed but overwhelmingly powerful character that is literally the point of part 3. And yet here he is bested in battle, finally one-upped against his opponent. And one of the best ripple effects from this moment is how subtly Jolene's view of her father changes in these few episodes. JoJo's is a series that loves to explain what is going on. That is a huge part of the appeal, especially in how it enhances the fight sequences. So at the beginning of part 6, Jolene talks outwardly about how much she despises her father. But soon enough, Jolene is risking her life staying in prison to try and bring her father back to life. This all subtly changes with one decision. Jotaro's decision to save Jolene at the cost of his own life. It doesn't need to be said out loud, but we know immediately in Jolene's actions how her perspective on her father has changed. She actually cares about him, and that feels incredibly genuine. This moment happens pretty early on in this story, and yet it has such an impact because of the previous character work for Jyotaro in parts 3 and 4. The storytelling here is shaved down to an efficient point, where there is no time needed to show Jolene's change because it feels so natural and obvious. And when she cries over his body, it's probably the best moment in these first 12 episodes. This quickly, part 6 has accomplished more storytelling feats than many first seasons. But things only continue to get better as we discover more about the villain, Pucci. Pucci is a fantastic villain for this story. He is incredibly competent, shown by his ability to take Jotaro's stand and memories, but also has this crazy feeling to him. Like all great JoJo villains, he is unpredictable when on screen, which makes him even more interesting to watch. His hatred fueled from Dio's death, which connects him nicely to the rest of the series. On top of all of this, he is essential to the prison setting. The prison is no normal place, and that is in large part due to Pucci's weird role among it. We don't really know exactly how he has come to so much power, but we do know that every single guard listens to him, and prisoners beg him to lower their sentences. Because the entire plot so far is focused on the aquarium, he is the literal god of Jolene's world, having the ability to take powers of others and give them out at will. It is a simple connection to make, a priest wanting to live as a god, but again, Araki pulls it off to perfection. There is an overwhelming feeling when Jolene faces off against Pucci, like she has almost no chance to win. This guy controls everything about the place she lives in, and even concocts a situation to be able to kill Jyotaro. This is a great example of how effective it is when the villain of a series perfectly matches the setting. And the last thing I want to touch on for these first 12 episodes is the central idea around Jolene and Jotaro's relationship. Everyone struggles in one way or another to deal with the shadow of their parents, no matter what good or bad things they have done. It is just an inherent part of growing up and going down the path to becoming yourself. Jolene lives in the inescapable shadow of her father. Really, all characters in the Joestar line live in the past of what has come before them. but that doesn't mean you must blend in to everyone else. Sure, Jolene in many ways is similar to Jyotaro, but it is through her development and will to save him that she stands out on her own as one of the best characters in the entirety of the series. And it is similar growth that many of us go through in life as we grow up. Something that's scary, but also exciting. This is the thematic connectivity with the other parts that really strengthens Jolene and highlights how strong of a protagonist she is. It has only been 12 episodes so far, but part 6 is really shaping up to be my favorite part of the series so far, and has a chance to become one of my favorite stories of all time. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I cannot wait for more episodes of Stone Ocean to come out. I'm sad that it's not weekly because I kind of want more people to be talking about it as things came out every week, but it is nice that 12 episodes came out all at once. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.